Hey guys, I'm here at Energym with my friend Umberto, and he's usually the one that helps me pick out my pre's in the morning. And I've been coming for quite a while, yet he somehow still manages to come out with a cool combination. So I was wondering, Umberto, how do you choose which pre's to give to people? Like whether it be a first-time customer or a returning customer and they're looking for something different. What's your process when picking out a pre-workout?
So I like to start off by feeling them out, seeing where they're starting at, because I personally have a pretty high tolerance, so I can't base it off myself. Some common questions depend on like how many like energy drinks, like Bangs, Monsters, Reigns, Red Bulls, or anything like that. Do you take a day? Do you drink any coffee? Do you take any other stimulants throughout the day? That's usually a pretty good way to gauge where they're at and if they've had any caffeine up to that point, because sometimes it ranges from people coming in at 7 in the morning to people coming in like at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and that can change the perspective. Okay,
so one of the most important things to ask first is the tolerance.
Yeah, because the last thing I want to do is have a 5'4" girl who doesn't drink any caffeine come in and then give her my high stimulant pre-workout right off the bat and then like have her freak out in the gym, right? So it's always good to gauge beforehand. On top of that, it's always good to know what they've taken before. So they tell me, hey, I used to take this really strong pre-workout. Or a lot of people, for whatever reason, come in with, like, I'm not sure if they've been told this, but they come in with the words that are like, hey, I've been taking this strong pre-workout called C4, right? So right off the bat, when they say C4, I understand that they might not be as experienced in pre-workouts, but that means it also allows me to kind of like lead them into other areas of pre-workouts. Pre-workouts are more than just energy. They can provide other aspects.
Okay, so the second thing you would consider would be history.
Yeah, history, definitely. So for most mornings, me and you have coffee in the morning. So it's very rare that I end up giving you something that's high stimulant just because I know you've already had quite a bit of caffeine. So for example, today I actually chose to give you one of the PSIs for HP Labs. So I chose to give you this PSI just because it's a pump, and this Beyond BCA, just because I know you're probably gonna need a little bit more just energy and hydration throughout your workout than just high caffeine, high beta alanine, right? So I went with that option just because I know we have caffeine in the morning. Now, as for most people in the morning, I rarely get anybody anything without any stimulant, so I end up opting for these two, whether it be the Full Blitz, my personal favorite, the Venom, a good choice, and the Berserk, always a good high stim option, right? Those are good options just because they vary from mid to high stimulant levels, but they each do something, I think, better than the other, right? So I feel personally that Berserk is all stimulant. You're not really gonna go for it for anything else than just you like high stim. Venom can always be like if something hasn't hit you for whatever reason, although it doesn't have more stimulant than the Berserk, it does have a couple of ingredients in here that some customers like, even though that they don't know why. The Venom's always a good option to have on hand. And then the Full Blitz, my personal favorite, even though it doesn't have as much high stim as these two, I personally like it because of the DMA. It overall causes a really good focus, and with half a serving, I'm personally fine.
Okay, so let me run you a scenario that's kind of popular real quick, and that way you can show me what process you go through. So let's say I walk in here, it's my first time. I haven't really tried pre-workouts before, but my friends recommended me some. I'm a girl, 5'4". I just got into the gym. I'm looking for something that's gonna get me sweating and that's not super high in stimulants. What would you recommend?
Okay, so right off the bat, most people, although I have it up here, they would opt for the C4 not that I'm against it or anything. If someone comes in looking for that one, that's always an option. But I always actually recommend the OxyShirt. Although this one can be used as a pre-workout, most people generally use it like in the morning instead of their coffee, or like during lunch, just to give them a quick boost. But it's very good to give you a quick boost, and if you don't have much experience with pre-workout, it's always a good option to like not get you super jittery and actually get you sweating a lot. This one, if they have a little bit more experience with caffeine, like they drink a lot of coffee or energy drinks for whatever reason, I might opt for the OxyShirt hardcore, but at that point it depends on them. But these two would always be great.
Okay. And what about, I'm a dude like freshman year college, come in here, I'm looking for something strong. I've been taking pre-workout for a couple years barely, and nothing really seems to hit me anymore. So I come in here asking you for the strongest stuff. Now, how do you approach me?
Okay, so I've started to take it in a different sort of aspect. So I used to just do, okay, which ones are my strongest reads? What I've noticed also plays a part is what day is it for them, right? So if it's an arm day, I might opt for something like the full blitz with the basal blitz, which is the vasodilator, just to overall not only give them the energy and the beta alanine and the focus behind it, but also give them the pump, which is going to overall make them feel like the pre-workout is working more effectively instead of just high stimulants.
Yeah, and that's a really good point to consider, because a lot of these guys want to take high stim every single day.
Yeah.
Not taking into consideration what they're training.
Yeah, because I'll get a lot of guys come in here, and if I just give them, let's say, Berserk right off the bat, they're going to come back and be like, hey, it hit me, but for whatever reason, I didn't feel the greatest. And it's because, well, if you hit arms, you're always looking for that pump. You're always looking for that, like, push and that grind. So, and
too much caffeine is a vasoconstrictor, so that actually restricts blood flow. So when you're training something like arms, or you're expecting to maximize blood flow, it might not be the greatest thing to overload.
If it was something like maybe legs, I'd actually opt for maybe either a Venom or a Berserk, depending on their personal preference. If they've been here before, ideally more like a Venom, and then maybe pair that up with a Mr. Veins from Dragon Pharma. Only reason why I opted for this one instead of the Vasal Blitz is because that's a low stimulant, so it'll still have about an extra 100 milligrams of caffeine. It'll have a little bit of beta alanine as opposed to no caffeine and no beta alanine, and it'll still provide that pump, which some guys like to look for. So it'll be a little stronger than usual while offering still some of the pump.
Awesome. All right, so those were just a couple scenarios. I mean, hopefully I'll be able to get a couple more later on and run them through you, but this was just something quick to show people what process you go through when picking out a pre-workout, and hopefully they can learn a thing or two when they pick out their pre-workout on their own time. So, yeah, all right, thanks, Beto. Okay guys, so that was a quick little video I did with Humberto this morning. I felt like that was a topic that a lot of people kind of have questions about whenever they look into getting some supplements, is which pre-workout would be the right one for me, because there's a whole variety. Not all of them are created equal. So I hope you guys found this video to be informative. If you did, then please subscribe, because I will be uploading more videos just like this one with Humberto, with myself during my prep. So please like and subscribe, show your support, and stay tuned for the next video.